That's
certain niggas, like, you know what I mean? Like, certain niggas could now, when you last 20 years, if a nigga saw you outside the fucking food spot, a nigga might, yo, you by yourself, nigga might just stand there with you until it's time, until you got your shit and ready to go.
No, that's real talk.
Fact.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
Right? Like, if you see the nigga you grew up on, and you like, damn, he on some chill
y'all
shit.
like family to a nigga, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? For real. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna hold you down. Fuck it.
Real shit.
Fact.
So I think that's the, that right there is like the biggest blessing, you know what I'm saying? To be able to really live to see the love for real. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a fact, man. That's a fact.
That's real.
Yeah, because niggas don't know like that shit back then, like, or like we was like that shit was entertaining at the same time, but shit was real too.
Yeah. Music, music marks time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you can remember. That's why it's so crazy for me with them fucking smack DVDs and shit, because that was around the time where shit popped off. You know what I mean? So that was what we was doing. Making music. We go in the other room, we watching the battles. So music marks time.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Banks, real quick. You already know you're in my top 3. I told you, but what was your mindset when you was recording Victory Freestyle, and how long did it take? I always wanted to ask that.
It's funny you say that. I actually got I still got the book. I still got the book with the, that I actually wrote that shit in.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All those freestyles, I kept all that shit, man. I'm a hoarder when it comes to shit like that. But just writing that at that time, that was early on mixtape circuit days and shit. And it was like, that actually turned into being like the only record that I could perform. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the freestyles was in like song format and shit like that. But that record started off like, the spotlight on me. Like, I had my 2 minutes to get that freestyle off. But I was writing in that cadence. I was doing 50 bar. I think all of those freestyles, the Banks Workout, Victory, all them shits was like 50 bars purposely. So I was just saying in my mind, let me put, three or so verses, put it together, and figure out a way to give you 50 bars, but it don't feel like it. Right? It's not dragged out.
Right. To where it's hard, where it feel like it's just mixtapey, like.
Yeah, it's not like redundant.
Yeah, I still
and shit
want
like
people to be able to listen to this shit like it's a song.
Mm-hmm. So that was my thing. Like, let me put all these bars together, but I'm gonna change the flow pattern, the cadence up like every 8 bars or every 16 bars. And
I noticed you used to do that.
Yeah.
Like even with like when you used to diss people, like when you, cause I was Banks that like that you're jumping out of character, trying to be a gangster. Like I noticed you always made your shit like songs. You know what I'm saying?
But that came from shit, just being groomed into that. You know what I'm saying? Early on, all those mixtapes was 8 bars chorus, 8 bars chorus. So by the time it came for me to do an album and shit, it was just, repetition. You know what I mean? Like, we had boot camp and shit like that. Now they don't really have like artist development and things like that. You just kind of go in there and, it's funny. Like I was telling somebody the other day, the difference now to me, and this is just me personally, right? Remember back in the day when I'll just speak for me. Like when I first saw like Biggie or Rakim or Nas, when I saw them as a kid, I said, damn, I didn't feel like I could do what they do, but it inspired me to want to do it, right?
Right.
That was the difference. Like, I don't think we even could fathom like that you could actually be Rakim or you could be this nigga. You don't know nothing about the industry. You don't even know you don't know nothing about anything outside your television. Now, I feel like people watching shit, like watching videos, watch TV, watch social media, and the artists see other artists, and they say, if he could do it, I could do it. You see how far shit changed?
Because it's easier now. Like back then, like from us looking at y'all back then, that shit was so far fetched. Like,
Right, because it wasn't. We didn't have as many examples. Like when I'm 10, 11, you had like even younger than that. You had like fucking ABC. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking crisscross. It wasn't too many examples of artists that were actually like kids or young teenagers and shit like that. Music wasn't dominated by that demographic. Even like when God bless the dead, like when Pac and them, Pac was young.
Yeah.
Like when you doing Brenda's Got a Baby and Strapped and all that shit, like they was young. You talking about when the Infamous is made, these niggas is 18, 19 years old.
facts.
Think about that.
Yeah,
Think
that's
about
real.
how old Nas was when he made Illmatic.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it was just different. I wasn't watching the tube saying like these are my peer. If these niggas could do it, I could do it.
Right.
Now it's just way different. It's a closer a gap. They're actually seeing 18-year-olds do it, and they 18 at the same time. You know what I mean? And you might not be the biggest of a lyricist or whatever. It could just be a flow. You know what I mean? Where I come from, whatever you want to call it at that time. And I think they're looking at it and going, if he could do it, I could do it. Or if she could do it, I could do it.
Yeah, it's the times, man. It's the times. That's what that shit is. The time.
Yeah, shit changes.
Times change. Yeah, times change.
Yeah, back then, a lot of people definitely didn't think they could do it. It was more like when I heard Nas and them, I was just happy to learn they rhyme.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Say they
like
shit.
back,
That
like if you would have told
that's
me,
exactly the point I'm making.
if you would have told me like shit, like
Crazy.
shit, 15 years from now, Banks gonna fuck with your shit. I'd have been like, fuck no, like no, because I'd have been
All
like,
right, well
hell
that's
no,
the
like
same.
how that's gonna
That's the
happen?
same thing with me, man. Same thing with me. I had fucking my closets had I used to all the magazines, cutting the logos out, taping the logos on my closet all over my room. Every fucking logo from fucking Souls and Mischief to fucking Cash Money logos, No Limit logos, Death Row, all them shit sitting there cutting them out like I was in art class and really putting them shits all over my room. Like that was
That's real shit though. Everybody used to for sure do
Manifesting it
that.
though.
On the
Manifest.
real.
On the real.
yeah, manifesting it. Like I really believed in that shit. Like I'm gonna get in one of these studios. I'm gonna make it there one day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There you
And
go.
we don't even realize, like, cause like you say, we be young and real life still be going on, but we don't really realize that manifestation that niggas was doing is really how niggas got to where they at today, because it was
Yep.
that's the difference of like when a motherfucker like still like believed in it, because it was a gang of times
100%.
where you could have stopped,
You could have
stopped
stopped.
trying to rap, like fuck, if rap ain't really cracking like that, I'm finna go back to doing this, doing that,
Shit, I
whatever it
did
was.
stuff.
But something kept pushing the nigga to be like, fuck it, I'm finna do this shit. You
And
know what I'm saying?
you know what's crazy about what you just said, Gotti? Like at that time, you gotta think this is like early '90s when I'm deciding to rap, right? It wasn't no social media, none of that. So I just had like maybe two of my closest partners that would push me. You know what I mean? Like, no, you the
Yeah,
best. You what? Nigga, nobody can fuck with you. And just me having my best friend or my best two friends saying that shit to me was enough to get me to keep doing it at that point where I'm like, yo, I don't know if I should do it. So now when you fast forward, you want 2022 now. You know what I'm saying? All your niggas,
man,
all your family, everybody got social media. And you would think like you would have way more of a push, way more supporters. There's no excuse
man,
now.
Word. That's crazy.
man, that's real.
Yeah, that's real. That's
To go
real
from
shit.
one partner, one or two of my nigga used to go to Harlem. He used to say my raps. And this is me at 13, 14 years old. And he felt like that was the illest shit he heard, you know? So that one person was enough to motivate me and tell me my shit was better than anything else he heard out there. So now it ain't no excuse, man. You got your partner, your niggas rapping or whatever, you get behind them, you push them, because you never know what kind of influence you got on them.